Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. Today we'll discuss our Lecha on this week's Parshas Lecha. The Rabbi writes that starting Parshas Lecha, it's a Freiliche Parsha because we lived the whole week with Avraham Avinu. Towards the middle and the end of the Parsha, for the next couple of weeks, we also mention different parts of the history of Yishmoel. And it's interesting that Parshas Lecha, Vayera, and Chayesara, there are three nakudas about Yishmoel, and each one the Mefarshim stress why is it important to make a fuss about this part of his lifestyle and his life in general. Anyway, so the pasuk begins in Kapitel Tazayin. V'Sarai Eishes Avram LaYolda. Sarai, Avraham Avinu's wife, was not able to have children. V'la Shifcha Mitzvahs, and she had an Egyptian maidservant. Now we keep on finding over and over again here, and even after she gives birth to Yishmoel, she is always referred to as Shifcha Mitzvahs, that she should always, the yichus of Yishmoel, even after Avraham and Hagar give birth to Yishmoel, is she's different than the yichus lahavda what Yitzchak has as Ben Avram. She's forever going to be titled Shifcha Mitzvahs. Even though Ushma Hagar, even though as Rashi explains that she was a unique person and a very nice person, the fact that she was willing to give away from her previous lifestyle, as being Bas Parai, and recognizing and realizing the greatness, the royalty of what there is by Avraham Avinu, that shows of a great status, great level that she was in, yet forever and ever she's referred to as Shifcha Mitzvahs. And Sarai says to Avraham, it's obvious that I am not blessed yet with this bracha of having children. Let me give you my shifcha mitzvahs. Ulai ibana mimena. And the pasuk says, Vayishma Avram l'koil Sarai. Avram listened to his wife's request and was willing to marry Hagar. The Ramban says that it does not say Vayas Cain, that Avram just did it. Rather, it says, Vayishma Avram l'koil Sarai. Why? Explains the Rabban, Afal Pisha Avram mis'ava moed lebanim. Even though Avram also wants to have children, Loi asa kain b'lei reshus Sarai. He did not do this without the permission of Sarah. V'gam ata. And even now, after she asked him to marry Hagar, he did not do it. He was not satisfied that his children should be children coming from Hagar. That's what the pasuk stresses. Vayishma Avram l'koil Sarah. He did it all to satisfy Sarah, to make Sarah happy with her reshus, and it should always be connected to Sarah. And the pasuk continues that Avram marries Hagar Mitzris Shivchascha again after 10 years living with Sarah and not having children, which is the halachic point that the Paskin Shulchan Aruch, that after living together for 10 years not having children, depending if you're Eretz Yisrael, Chutz La'aretz, if there's other schusim, there is a chiyuv to separate and try to fulfill the mitzvah of Pru'avu. Vayavay el Hagar Vatar, and Hagar becomes pregnant. Vater keirasa, and she saw that she became pregnant. So the pasuk says, "Vatekel gvirta beheinah." She started be making fun of Sarah, lost the cheshivus, the honor to Sarah, because she says, "Look, it must be something that you don't have this bracha that I, even though I'm shifcha Sarah, I'm Avram's maidservant, and yet I'm pregnant." And the pasuk says that it hurts Sarah so much that Sarah gave a ayin hara, and at this point, Hagar had a miscarriage, and only later, after the bracha of the malach, she again became pregnant, and that's when she gave birth to Yishmoel. But Sarah's hurt feeling caused an ayin hara, Rahman al-Atzlan, for her to have this miscarriage. And Sarah comes to Avram and says, I'm hurt seeing Hagar pregnant. Yishpeit Hashem beini veinecha. Hashem should judge us, because obviously there's something fishy, something funny about her being pregnant so fast. As Rashi explains, Avraham Avinu, you must have davened on your behalf, and you did not have me in mind specifically that I should be the one to have your children. So Yishbait Hashem beini veinecha. So Avraham says, Hine shivchasech b'yadeich. Again and again. We stress that she's still her shivcha. Take back your shivcha. Asila hatoiv beinayich. Do whatever you want with her. And the pasuk Taka says, V'taneh Sarai made her work very hard, as Rashi says, and Vativrach mipanah. And therefore it caused Hagar to run away. The Ramban says that Chata imenu be'inui hazeh. Rahman al-Latsan, Sarah caused a sin by causing this suffering to Hagar. V'gam Avraham be'enichei lasis ken. Avraham Avinu allowing Sarah to do this was Rahman al-Latlan a sin. And that's why the Malach comes and gives her a bracha. And Rahman al-Latlan la'asad lavai, the Yidden are always suffering from Bnei Yishmoel because of what Avram and Sarah allowed. And the pasuk says, Vayimtza Malach Hashem alein hamayim. As she ran away, the Malach finds her. The pasuk says 4 different times, the Malach says, the Malach found, the Malach said. As Rashi says, they were 4 different Malachim, because no Malach is able to do 2 separate shlichusim. And the Malach tells her, I hear what you're doing, I see what you ran away, but you should know that you're coming from a very, very special place, and it's better for you to be in the rishus, the bias of the base tzaddikim, and perhaps that's why you're ra'ui, you're worthy enough that you're able to even see this vision of a tzaddik, because in the house of a tzaddik, this is a common practice to see malachim. But he gave her a bracha, and he says, "Vayomer lamalach Hashem, that you're going to become pregnant. V'karasa shema Yishmoel, and I tell you that the name, the child that you'll have, you should call Yishmoel. Ki shama Hashem es elanyech, because Hashem heard your suffering, and this is a blessing from Hashem." And he keeps on giving other blessings. Now you'll be a pera adam and a yad kol boy, as the pasuk continues. The Hagar realizes only after the 4th malach that it's a real malach, so she responds by calling him Kel Roi, calling the place where it was, the Be'er, the well, Be'er Lachai Roi, and the Mefarshim explain why only after the 4th time she responds with realizing that it was a malach. But then the pasuk says, "Vateled Hagar la'Avram bein." It happened that Hagar gave birth to the child. Vayikra Avram Shem Benoi Yishmoel, and Avram called the child's name Yishmoel. So Rashi comes right along and says that Avram never heard the Malach saying, "Give the kid the name Yishmoel." But as we know in our tradition that the name of a child is a Ruach HaKodesh. So Sharsa Ruach HaKodesh Olav, he had Ruach HaKodesh, and Vikara Yishmoel, he called him Yishmoel. The Ramban, however, he argues, and he says, V'anochem be'enai, ki ha-malach tziva laHagar. The Malach told Hagar that when you give birth to the child, you name him Yishmoel. But she was afraid that, it might not look good for the people. People might not want to listen. So she actually told Avram, when she had the child, to name him Yishmoel. The pasuk, the psukim in the next parsha talk about how Sarah tries to kick Yishmoel out. Ki la yirash ben ha'amar azois in b'ni. I don't want the connection. I don't want my son to live with the same surrounding as Yishmoel. In Parshas Chayesara, the Torah keeps on telling us the yichus of Yishmoel, that he had 12 Nesiim. And in each part, Rashi comes from the Midrashim and the Gemara to explain why are we putting so much emphasis on the lifestyle of Yishmoel. Lahalacha, there's an interesting point. Besides the inyan that I said, that the name of a child is a Ruach HaKodesh, we also find that Avraham Avinu's name was changed from Avram to Avraham. Yaakov was Yaakov Yisrael. Yitzchak stayed forever. And some Mefarshim say, based on Chazal, that Yitzchak was a name that Hashem gave. And a name that Hashem gave, you can't change. But here about Yishmoel, there is the same pasuk that says Zecher Tzadik Livracha. There is a point to mention the name of a tzaddik, and it's a blessing. The pasuk says Shem Rishayim Yirkov. The name of a rasha you should let rot. You should not mention names of Rishayim. How is it that we find a people, and in the Mishnayos we find a Tana called Rabbi Yishmoel? So the basic answer, which is given from the Ritva, is we know that the pasuk says Ba'asher Hu Sham, that Yishmoel at certain periods of time was a chayzer b'tshuva. Hagar eventually Avraham Avinu is machzir, and Avraham Avinu marries her again. And lebesoif Yishmoel himself did tshuva, whereas Esav forever stayed who he was. But Yishmoel, says the Ritva, since Yishmoel was somebody who lebesoif did tshuva, the klal, this pasuk that says Shem Rishayim Yirkov does not apply, and one is allowed to name his son, his children, Yishmoel. Yashikoyach, and please join us again next week.